everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Bonjour, bonjour, and welcome back from the holidays. Welcome back. Technically speaking, though, I'm still here and we haven't left yet. But I thought, hey, I'll go ahead and make your video. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at chapter 4A. I know it's insanity that we're in chapter 4, but I'm losing my mind at how great you guys are right now. All right, so lesson 4A, we're going to be talking about où allons-nous? Où allons-nous? Where are we going? In this unit, we're going to start learning about where you're going, how to say where you're going, to say what you're doing when you get there. And so it's actually a really fun activity. We're probably going to have another map down on the floor. And yes, you can bring your little Hot Wheel thingamajiggies. But anyway, let's get started. All right, so far what we've learned is the verb être, right? We've learned the verb être. The verb être means to be, right? You've heard that with je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, and il and elles sont. And those all have to be with I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, y'all are, and they are, okay? So we've already gone all over that. We've gone over the verb avoir, right? The verb avoir means to have, okay? And we can review really quick on how to say that. We've got j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, and on a as well. We've got nous avons. We've got vous avez. And then we've got il and elles ont. Il and elles ont. And those mean I have, you have, he has, we have, y'all have, and they have, okay? Furthermore, we've also learned about something called ER verbs. Now, these are verbs that end in the letters ER. And if you remember, we got two really awesome steps on how to conjugate ER verbs. And remember, when we're conjugating, we're taking verbs from their infinitive state where they're lazy, they're on the couch watching reruns of Drake and Josh. They're watching all those reruns and they're doing absolutely nothing. These are lazy verbs, and then when we assign them to somebody, that's when they become active. All right, so we take it from the infinitive state to an active state. And so when we do that, there's two steps. First step, drop the base, or drop it like it's hot, right? We're going to drop that ER off of the verb, and then we're going to add the endings. That's our second step, is add the appropriate endings depending on the pronoun. All right, so the first one we know is je, right? Let's use the verb, we'll use the verb aimer because that's the verb that we have gone through before, A-I-M-E-R. Aimer means to like or to love, right? If it means to like or to love, when we go to conjugate it, we're gonna drop it like it's hot, A-I-M, we're gonna drop that ER off of there, and then we're gonna add the ending that goes with it. So E is our ending, right? I'm going to make that a big E so you can kind of see the similarities here. With the pronoun tu, which means you, you got tu aimes, and then our ending is ES. So we've dropped it like it's hot and adding the endings. Then we have il, or we can also say elle. Il or elle. We've got AIM, that's our stem, and then we have our ending. So we've dropped the ER like it's hot, and now we're going to add it back to add the ending the proper ending to it. And then we move on to nous, right? Nous, here's our stem right here, AIM, and then we add our ending, ONS. With vous, we have our stem, and then we're going to add our ending, EZ, okay? And then we have il or elle, plural, which means they. And we want to say they love, so AIM, and then we had ENT, all done. So those are our endings for ER verbs. Cool thing to do is practice down here with these guys. These are our new verbs that we're going to be learning. Let me scoot this little sticky note down, and I'll go ahead and write down a couple of the extra verbs that are on here. So far we have danser, to dance, explorer, to explore, fréquenter is to frequent or to visit, inviter is to invite, nager is to swim, and then patiner is to skate. We also have a couple of other verbs that are over here in our actual picture in the illustration itself. We have the verb Passer, right? Passer means to pass. And if we are here in this little picture here, you'll see il passe chez quelqu'un. He passes by someone's house. Il passe chez quelqu'un. That word quelqu'un means someone. We have the verb quitter. Quitter means to leave. So if we are here in this little illustration here, you'll see elle quitte la maison. So she is leaving the house, right? Let's see here. Then you've got déjeuner, the verb déjeuner. Let me see here. Déjeuner means to lunch or to dine or to eat. Okay? And so these are the verbs that we have here. We also have another one down here, all the way down on the bottom. It is bavarder. You guys should already know what bavarder means just from one of the adjectives that we've already learned about. It means to chat, all right? So elle est bavarde, she is chatty. Remember? And if we're looking at the other page on page 111, you've got one more verb over there, and that is dépenser. Okay, and dépenser is to spend, and in this case, and in most all cases, we're talking about money specifically, okay? And this is things that you would do in some of these places here. So if we're looking at our vocabulary here, we've got une banlieue, is the suburbs, une boîte de nuit, nightclub, un bureau, office or desk, un centre commercial is a shopping center or a mall, a commercial center is basically what that means. A commercial center, by the way, a mall in France most of the time cannot be located in the city center. It has to be located outside of the city just to preserve the integrity of the authenticity of the city. Let's see here. You've got un centre-ville, which is the downtown or the city center. You've got un cinéma, movie theaters. That's obvious. That's a definite cognate, right? Un endroit is a place, just a general place. Un grand magasin is a department store. Un gymnase is a gym. Un hôpital, again, another cognate. Gymnase and hôpital, both cognates, a hospital. Un lieu is a place. Un magasin is a store. You would buy magazines in a store. Do you see how that works? Un marché is a market, and most of the time with the marché, you're going to see that the marché is going to be an outdoor market. You're going to see a lot of those in France. Un musée is a museum. Un parc is a park. Une piscine is a pool. Un restaurant is a restaurant. And then une ville is a city. Okay? Now, if we look at a couple of other places here, we've got la maison. Obviously, you see la maison means house. You've got une terrasse de café, so it's an outdoor cafe. Une place is kind of like Marietta Square, okay? That'll give you an idea about that one. If you scoot up a little bit on the picture, you'll see une maison again here. And then une montagne is the mountains. If we switch over to page 111, let's go through a couple of those vocabulary words really quick. But before we do, I want you to look at this attention section here. If you have a noun that ends in an AL, such as animal or hôpital, the endings for those guys, when you go to change them from singular to plural, is going to change from AL. You won't add an S. You'll change the AL to an AUX. An AUX. Also, remember back when we did de la, and du, okay? You can't have de and le together. In that same sense, you cannot have a and le together. De le means, de le doesn't exist. De la means of thee or from thee. In this case, we're talking about to thee. I'm going to the cinema. If I wanted to say I'm going to the cinema, cinema is a masculine word, so it would have to be le cinéma normally. But when we want to add that to the cinema, that prepositional phrase right there, we can't do that. We have to say o. It changes from a plus le to o. The same way that de plus le changes to du. Cool. Also, a plus le doesn't exist, so we're going to change that to o. You guys may have seen that when we're talking about aux toilettes. Aux toilettes, going to the bathroom. All right, so we've got une église here. Une église, I'm going to bet you know what that is just by that symbol right there. Wonderful, beautiful symbol right there. You've got une épicerie. Une épicerie is just a market, just like a, I guess the same thing would be like a Publix, okay? You've got une kiosque. Une kiosque here, it's a kiosk, that's obvious. And il dépense de l'argent. L'argent here means money, 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 money. Yes, I know. I just channeled Nick Mills right now. All right, so let's take a second, and I want you guys to look at this section here and tell me what places, quel lieu, what places would you associate these activities? So, quel lieu associez-vous à ces activités? Nager. Where would we go to nager? Choose from your vocabulary and you tell me. You write it down, okay, and bring it in class. Danser. Where would we go to dance? You choose. Dîner. Dîner is the verb to dine. Where would we go to dine? What would that be? Travailler. Where would we go to travailler? There's several opportunities. There's several options for that one. Habiter. Where do we live? Habiter. Épouser. Where do we marry? To épouser quelqu'un is for marier. And then voir un film or regarder un film is pretty obvious. You can see that word right there, film. And then acheter des fruits. I'll give you a couple minutes to write down what you think, and just press pause right here, and then we'll keep going. All right, so nager is the verb to swim. So where would we go to swim? We would go to une piscine. Une piscine. Danser. Where would we go to danser? We would go to la boîte. Une boîte. Or une boîte de nuit. Where would we go to dîner? Dîner. We would go to eat. We would say un restaurant. Where would we go for travailler? Travailler. We would go to work maybe centre-ville. Un centre-ville. Habiter, on habite dans une banlieue in the suburbs, or dans la maison. You could say dans la maison. You could say épouser. Where would we go to marry? We would go to une église. Okay. Voir un film. We would go to un cinéma. And then acheter des fruits. Where would we go to buy the fruits? We would go to two places. One of two places. You go to un marché, or you go to une épicerie. All right. So this hopefully has helped you. We're going to keep working. We're going to start working on the verb aller. If you guys want to turn to page 118, that'll give you a good idea of what aller looks like. And then that's what we'll start when we get back to school. Have a good one. Bonjour, ciao, bonne journée, and all those other good, wonderful things. Don't have too much fun, by the way. I haven't had my Christmas yet, and I know you guys are in the middle of yours, but I miss you. Kind of. Have a good one.